Hello guys, and welcome to another of Dr. Sirme chemistry demonstration. In our previous upload, we had a competition. We engaged 7 students on a competition, basically on Form 1 work. And today we want to do Form 2 work, and we are still searching for the Luminous chemistry stars. So sit back and watch. Do not forget the Dr. Sirme initiative for the very needy students. We have that initiative. We have been helping one student. Maybe what I can have is good news. One person voluntarily decided to pay for this student. The school fees, the whole of Form 4, because the student was in Form 3, now the Form 4 fee is catered for. So what we're doing is to identify another student. So towards the end of this video, we are going to post the detail of another student that we need to start supporting. And that's very good of you. Even for all those who have paid their money for our student, thank you so much. May you never lack. May God bless you so much. May somebody pay school fees for your kid as well. And here are the rules for the contest. Rule number 1, the entry is free, no registration fee, and the contest is open to all high school students in Kenya. Rule number 2, the contest is purely for educational gain, and there will be no monetary attachment whatsoever. Rule number 3, the contest has not been sponsored by anybody, not any organization, not even YouTube has sponsored the Luminous Chemistry Star competition. Rule number 4, all winners will be rewarded with non-monetary gifts. And rule number 5, all contestants should be or must be identified as per their respective symbols.
My symbol is Omega.
And my symbol is Lambda.
And mine is Sigma.
I am Delta.
My symbol is Alpha.
I am Psi.
And my symbol is Beta.
Please say hi to our viewers.
Hi guys, my symbol remains to be Delta, and I'm ready for the second episode for the contest.
Thank you so much. Take it easy, and this is now Form 2 work, the second episode of Luminous Chemistry Star competition. Define the term valency.
Valency is the combining power of the element.
Correct. That is the number of electrons an element needs to gain or lose to be stable, the combining power of the element. Kindly state the element with atomic number 7.
Nitrogen.
Yes, number 7 is nitrogen. That is correct. In which group is element Y, given that the electron arrangement is 2, 3?
Group 3.
Good. That one is in group 3, and that is very correct. Okay, with the pen given there, give me a chemical formula of ammonia molecule.
Ammonia molecule is capital N, capital H, and 3.
Okay, display that. That one, I'll give you 2 marks. It's very correct. Okay. Helium is inert. Can you explain that statement?
Because it is stable.
Okay, by stable means? Okay. By stable, well, I may deny you that whole mark. We say helium is generally inert because it has a complete electron configuration, and that's why we say it is stable. So don't worry for that, you will keep recovering that. So explain why the ionization energy of potassium is lower than that of lithium.
Potassium has a large atomic radius than lithium, hence it easily loses its outermost
electrons. Okay. That one I can give you the 2 marks. It's correct. The atomic radius is connected to the ionization energy. The larger the atom, the lower the ionization energy, meaning the outermost electrons are very far from the nucleus. The effective nuclear charge attraction is lower. The next question. State one use of calcium oxide.
It is used as a reducing agent.
Okay, that one I don't give you exactly Calcium oxide is not a reducing agent. We say calcium oxide can be used to do liming in agriculture to lower the soil pH. Calcium oxide can be used as a drying agent when in solid state. So that one I give you a 0 mark. But the next question, state any one insoluble carbonate salt.
Zinc carbonate.
That one you have it. Zinc carbonate is insoluble. Okay, describe how sodium chloride salt can be prepared by direct synthesis.
Sodium chloride can be preparing by lowering magnesium into a jar full of chlorine gas. Hence, a white solid of sodium chloride will be formed.
Okay, you have talked about magnesium. We are preparing sodium chloride. Again, I'll give you a 0 mark. We are lowering sodium metal, burning sodium metal into a gas jar or just a flask that is full of dry chlorine, now to form the white solid. For stating magnesium, I think I will not give you the mark, otherwise the procedure you've stated is correct. If at all you talked of sodium. The next question, state the observation that will be made when lead-2 nitrate is heated strongly.
Brown fumes of nitrogen 4 oxide will be observed.
Okay, that is correct. That's correct, but I give you one. You need to talk about the lead-2 nitrate that is white. Finally it will form the yellow solid. The yellow solid that is lead-2 oxide will be formed as the other observation. What is an insulator?
An insulator is a substance that does not conduct electricity.
Yes, a material that will not allow electric current to flow through it or even heat. That one I give you 2 marks, is correct. Explain why molten wax is a non-electrolyte.
It is a non-electrolyte because it has covalent bond, hence they cannot allow for electrical conductivity since there are no mobile ions.
Okay, for that again I'll not give you a single mark. When you talk about molten wax, just tell us about the type of structure. You state it has molecular structures. The particles thereof are molecules, hence cannot conduct electricity. But do not worry. We say that as we proceed, the seat gets hotter and hotter. Name any 2 types of bonds.
Ionic bond and covalent bond.
That is very correct. The next question, state the chemical test for carbon 4 oxide.
Use of lime water where white precipitate will be formed.
Very correct. We use lime water, otherwise calcium hydroxide solution, a white precipitate, that is calcium carbonate, is formed. The very last question, state any 2 raw materials for the Solvay process.
Sodium chloride and ammonia.
Okay, that is brine and ammonia. Remember the other materials, raw materials, limestone and coke, we also have water. Otherwise, that is the end of your part. Thank you so much for taking part in this competition.
Thank you.
Say hi to our viewers.
Hello guys, my name remains to be Sai and I'm ready for the second episode of the Chemistry Hot Seat.
Good, this is, as you have said, the second episode of the Luminous Chemistry Stars. Form 2 work. The very first question, what is a periodic table?
A periodic table is an arrangement of elements in groups based on their similarities of chemical and physical properties.
That one I give you 1, it's correct. You've stated well, it's a grid of elements arranged in order of the atomic numbers with the similarity in physical and chemical properties, as you say. Only some keywords missing. Do not worry, that's question 1. Question 2, you are supposed to work out the mass number of an element whose nucleus has 11 protons and 12 neutrons. Okay.
It is 23.
23, that is correct. You add the 2 and that's correct for the 2 marks. So what is the valency of an element X with electron arrangement 287?
The valency is 1.
Yes, it has a valency of 1 for 2 marks. That's correct. Because it needs to gain 1 electron to be stable, to attain argon electron arrangement 288. Then what is the chemical symbol for water? That is the chemical formula, that is. Okay. That one is correct for 2 marks. Okay, name any one transition element.
Vanadium.
Vanadium, that is correct. It is in the D block, the transition element. Explain why magnesium atom is larger than magnesium ion.
Magnesium reacts by losing electrons, which decreases repulsion among the like-charged elements. Electrons.
Okay, for that one, you don't score. Because basically you say magnesium react by losing 2 electrons, and hence the outermost energy level disappears. The ion automatically becomes smaller. Otherwise, if you talk about the increase in effective nuclear charge, it's correct, because now you'll be talking of 12 protons attracting 10 electrons, and they'll be attracted even closer to the nucleus. Give one use of calcium sulphate.
It is used in hospitals for people with dislocations.
Yes, it is called the plaster of Paris. It is used to immobilize broken bones and limbs. Then state a chloride salt that is soluble in warm water.
Lead 2 chloride.
Lead 2 chloride, that is very correct. You're given magnesium oxide and hydrochloric acid. How can you prepare magnesium chloride?
You add magnesium oxide to the hydrochloric acid in excess.
Okay.
Then you filter the magnesium that remains.
Okay, so that means the magnesium oxide is in excess.
Yes.
Okay.
Then you evaporate it to obtain magnesium chloride in solid state.
You evaporate to dryness. That one I give you the 2 marks. It's very correct. What is the effect of the strong heating on sodium chloride?
It sublimes to form sodium and chlorine gas.
Okay, that one you don't score, because sodium chloride, it's stable chloride. So if you heat it strongly, it just melts and without decomposing. So what is an electrolyte?
An electrolyte is a substance which, when melted or dissolved in water, conducts an electric current and gets decomposed by the current.
Okay, thank you. But next you can use fewer words, because this is a science. But that one you score. Name any one semiconductor material.
Silicon.
Good. Silicon is a semiconductor. It can conduct when hot, and when cold it is a non-conductor. State the types of bonds present in graphite.
Covalent bond.
Yes, it's a covalent bond, and bonds are those. That is correct. State 2 reagents that can be used to prepare carbon 4 oxide.
There's a carbonate, we can use calcium carbonate.
Yes.
And an acid like hydrochloric acid.
That one, it's correct, I give you. Then for the very last question, state 1 effect of excess carbon 4 oxide emission into the atmosphere.
It causes global warming.
Yes, that's very, very fine. Thank you so much for taking part in this competition. The results will be released later.
Thank you.
Say hi to our viewers.
Hi friends, my science remains to be Sigma. I'm ready for the second episode of the competition.
Very correct. The second episode of this competition, Form 2 work, Chemistry Form 2. Define the term nucleon.
Nucleons are protons and neutrons.
Good, it's a collective term for the protons and neutrons in the nucleus. What is the atomic number of beryllium?
4.
The atomic, that's correct. Beryllium is atomic number 4. State the period in which the element calcium belongs.
It's period 4.
Period 4, that is potassium. It is in period 4, that's correct. So using the paper you have there and a pen, what is the chemical formula of potassium carbonate? Potassium carbonate. Display that one. Okay, considering that potassium is in group 1, valence of 1. Carbonate has a valence of 2, so there should be K2, then carbonate. With that one, you don't score, otherwise it's a good try. So what is the common name of the group 2 elements?
Alkaline earth metals.
Alkaline earth metals, that is correct. Why is argon atom larger than helium atom?
Because it has more energy levels than helium.
Okay, argon has more energy level than helium, and that is very correct. State 1 use of sodium chloride.
It is used as a food additive.
Additive, that's correct, to make food more palatable. Then state any one double salt,
Hydrated potassium aluminium sulfates.
Okay, the hydrated, can you come up again?
Hydrated potassium aluminium sulfates.
That one I not give. That is, if you talk of the double salt, it's the trona, the hydrated ammonium iron 2 sulfate. So for that, I will not give a mark. Describe how anhydrous calcium chloride can be obtained from its solution.
Evaporate the solution to dryness, then you are until episode.
Okay. Okay. You said you evaporate the solution to dryness.
Yes, until a constant mass is obtained.
Okay, until you get a constant mass, and that is correct. So I'll give you the 2 marks, no objection for that. Then name the product formed when sodium nitrate is heated strongly. I'm heating sodium nitrate strongly.
Sodium nitrate and oxygen gas.
Can you come up again? Sodium
Nitrate and oxygen gas.
Okay, sodium nitrite and oxygen gas. So what is electrolysis?
Electrolysis is the decomposition of an electrolyte through an electric current.
Yes, passing an electric current through a substance and it is decomposed. Explain why electrolysis of molten lead to chloride must be done in a fume chamber.
Because it is a poisonous gas.
What is a poisonous gas?
So it is a poisonous.
Okay, that one I don't give you. It is because at the anode, chlorine gas is produced, which is poisonous. Okay, the next question. State any 2 types of intermolecular forces of attraction.
Van der Waals forces and hydrogen bonding.
Yes, the Van der Waals forces and then hydrogen bonding. Why is carbon 2 oxide called a silent killer?
It causes death through suffocation.
Okay, for that one again I don't give you. For that one, remember you only need to state of the physical properties that makes it hard to detect. You can say it's colorless. You can also say it is a poisonous gas. The very last question, name 2 industries that can be located near Solvay plant.
Paper industry.
Okay, paper industry.
And the glass industry.
That is correct, among others. You can also have the Haber process, among others. Thank you so much for taking part in this competition.
Thank you.
Go on.
Hi guys, my symbol remains to be lambda and I'm ready for the second episode of the chemistry contest.
Very true, that is the second episode of the Luminous Chemistry Stars competition. Form 2 work. What are isotopes?
An isotope is an atom of the same element with the same atomic number but different mass number.
Okay, you can make it plural. It was, that is, I give you the 2 marks. They are atoms of the same element, same atomic number, different mass number. So what is the atomic number of carbon-12? 6. That is very correct. So what is the electron arrangement of aluminium? The atomic number 13. That is correct for 2 marks. Chemical formulae of sulfuric 6 acid.
Capital H.
You can display that. I give it 2 marks. That is very correct. What is the name for the group 7 elements in the periodic table?
Halogens.
They are called the halogens. That's correct. Can you state the trend in atomic radius across a period?
The atomic radius across a period increases.
The atomic radius will decrease. So I think you've said the opposite. Remember, the atomic what you call the nuclear charge increases across the period, and therefore the energy levels as you go across the period are attracted closer and closer. The atom becomes smaller and smaller from left to right of the periodic table. One use of helium.
It is used in the thermometer in measurement of very low temperatures.
Okay, that one I give you for the benefit of doubt of the physics. I hope that is very correct. Otherwise, helium can be used in hot air balloons, in meteorology department. State 1 carbonate that does not exist.
Aluminium carbonate.
That is correct. Aluminium carbonate does not exist. Describe how copper 2 sulfate crystals can be obtained from its solution?
First, you heat the solution to saturation.
Okay, you do saturation.
Secondly, you leave it to cool overnight for better formation of crystals.
Then you allow it to cool and crystals will form. That one I give you 2 marks without any doubt there. State the observation made when hydrated potassium carbonate is heated strongly.
Water condenses on the side of the test tube as a colorless liquid.
Okay, and then a white powder is left. That one I give you half the total score. Then what is a conductor?
A conductor is a substance that allows electric current to flow through them.
That is correct. A material that will allow heat or electricity to pass through it. Give one example of a binary electrolyte.
Lead to bromide.
That one I give you. Can you come up again?
Lead to bromide.
I give you I do not give you a score. We say molten lead to bromide. So what is the structure of diamond? What is the chemical structure of diamond?
Giant atomic structure.
That's very correct for 2 marks. Explain why calcium carbonate and sulfuric acid, that is sulfuric 6 acid, cannot be reacted to prepare CO2.
Because insoluble sulfate coats the carbonates where it prevents further reaction.
That one I will agree. That is calcium sulfate will be formed and it forms a coat on the carbonate and then the reaction stops. The very last question, one use of sodium carbonate.
It is used in paper industry.
It is used in the paper manufacturing industry, used to soften hard water, among many others. Thank you so much for taking part in this competition.
Thank you.
Say hi to our viewers.
Hello guys, my symbol is Steve Bitter and I'm ready for the second episode of the contest.
Good. This is second episode of the Luminous Chemistry Stars competition, Form 2 work. Thank you and take it easy, relax, okay? What is an atom?
An atom is the smallest particle of an element that can take part in a chemical reaction.
Very correct, and we can be louder than that. What is the atomic number of argon?
18.
Argon is atomic number 18. Name an element whose electron configuration is 284.
Silicon.
That is number 14, silicon. Very correct. What is the chemical formula of sodium chloride? You have the piece of paper, kindly do write it for me. Sodium chloride. Okay, that one I'll give you. Correct. Name the most reactive element in group 7.
Fluorine.
Fluorine, the smallest in atomic radius, it's the most reactive. Why is aluminium a better conductor, that's electroconductor, than magnesium?
Aluminium has a valency of 3 or delocalized electron, while magnesium has 2. So aluminium has a high tendency of conducting electricity.
Okay, I give you half the total marks. Just go ahead and say it straight. Aluminium has more delocalized electrons than magnesium because, of course, as you have said, it has a valence of 3. State one use of chlorine.
Used in making hydrochloric acid and metachlorides.
Okay, making of hydrochloric acid, and that's very correct. Name one normal salt.
Magnesium chloride.
That is very correct. Describe how iron 3 hydroxide can be prepared. You're starting with iron 3 nitrate solution and sodium hydroxide.
Add excess sodium hydroxide to the solution.
Okay.
To get iron 3 hydroxide, you filter it and then wash it using dilute water.
Okay, the distilled water. Okay, I'll give you half the points. What you do, you add, as you said, excess sodium hydroxide, and there'll be formation of a white precipitate, not a white precipitate, in this case it will be a brown precipitate. So you have to state that it is a precipitate. Then you filter, you rinse with some distilled water, and of course you dry. So half the point there. State one, thermally stable carbonate.
Sodium carbonate.
Good, that one cannot decompose on even strong heating. What is an electrode?
Electrode are solid conductors that make contact with the electrolytes.
Okay, that are dipped in the electrolyte to complete the circuit there. That's very correct. Explain why metals are poor conductors when hot.
They have high kinetic energy, thus making the electrons to be scattered.
Scattered, I'll give you half the total points. You have to talk of the electrons. When they are hot, they have higher kinetic energy, and hence they tend to move in a random manner, meaning the uniform flow of electron will be interfered with. Okay, the next state, the type of bonds present in a copper.
Metallic bond.
That is the metallic bond, and it's very correct. So what are allotropes?
Allotropes are
Okay, what are allotropes?
Allotropes are different forms of elements with the same physical state.
Okay, the different forms an element can exist in the same physical state. I give you half the points. Describe what happens in the carbonator in the solvate process.
Ammonia reacts with water and carbon dioxide, which is recycled in the roaster or the kiln to give you ammonium hydrogen carbonate. Then ammonium hydrogen carbonates react with sodium chloride to give you ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate.
Okay, you've described quite a number of things, but I'll give you half the points. This chemistry, remember, you can go direct to the point. In the carbonator, it is the ammoniacal brine from the first absorption chamber that is reacted with carbon dioxide, and then we get the two products, ammonium chloride and sodium hydrogen carbonate, without much of the stories there. Otherwise, thank you so much. That's the last question. Please say hi to our viewers.
Hi guys, my scent remains to be Omega and I'm ready for the second episode of the contest.
Thank you. As you have said, this is the second episode of the Luminous Chemistry Star Competition. Form 2 work. The first question, what is relative atomic mass?
Relative atomic mass is the mass of any atom compared to that of a single hydrogen atom.
That one I give you one. We do define relative atomic mass with respect to carbon-12. The average mass of an atom of any element compared to 1/12, the mass of carbon-12. So what is the atomic number of lithium?
3.
Very correct. That one I give you. Then you're supposed to write for me the electron arrangement of the most stable ion of calcium.
So calcium is element number 20 and gains stability by losing 2 electrons to form 2:8:8.
Okay, that is very correct. I'll have no objection for that. So on the same piece of paper, write the question for the reaction between magnesium and oxygen. Magnesium metal burning in oxygen.
Magnesium metal.
Okay. Good. If I look at your question, you have tried magnesium reacting in oxygen gas to give you magnesium oxide, but you're balancing. The 2 on magnesium oxide should be in front of the formula, not somewhere at the center. So for that, again, not again, but you don't score. Otherwise, you've tried. Next question, you're supposed to name the first member of the alkali metals.
Lithium.
Lithium, that is very correct. Why is fluorine more electronegative than iodine?
Fluorine has a smaller atomic radii, hence has the ability to gain an electron easily than iodine.
That's very correct. Being a smaller in atomic radius, that means it is more or has a higher electron affinity, can gain electron very fast. One use of sodium metal?
Used in the manufacture of sodium cyanide, used in the extraction of gold.
That is very correct, among very many other, like used in street lights, the lamps and etc. Then state any one deliquescent substance,
Calcium chloride.
Okay, anhydrous calcium chloride. I give you one. Should be anhydrous, and that is okay. Describe how calcium carbonate can be prepared using calcium nitrate and sodium carbonate solution.
Mix the 2 solutions.
Okay.
A white precipitate is formed.
Correct.
Of calcium carbonate.
Okay.
Filter the white precipitate.
Okay.
Rinse it in distilled water.
Okay, with some distilled water.
and write between filter papers.
Okay, that one is carefully and it is very well described. Name one product for thermal decomposition of silver. Okay, actually name all the products for silver nitrate if you heat it.
Silver,
Okay,
nitrogen oxide,
yep.
and oxygen.
That one is okay. You get the three: silver metal, nitrogen oxide, and oxygen. So what is a binary electrolyte?
It is one that contains only one type of a cation and one type of anion.
Okay, it's a molten ionic compound with one anion, one cation, a binary electrolyte. 2 marks, that is it. How does aluminium conduct electricity?
In its molten state.
Okay, so how? You are supposed to name the particles responsible for conductivity.
It's valence electrons.
The valence electrons, otherwise we call them the localized electrons. 1, that is the mobile electrons. You score half the total points. So the next question: what is the type of structure in a sugar molecule?
Molecular structure.
That is very correct. Molecular structure. State one use of carbon monoxide.
Carbon dioxide is used in the manufacture of sodium carbonate in solvate process.
That's correct. Even in preservation of soft drinks, in putting out fire, that is among other uses. The very last question: what is the industrial process for the manufacture of sodium carbonate?
Solvate process.
Solvate process, and that is correct. The very last question. Thank you for taking part in this competition. Okay, say hi to our viewers.
Hi guys, my symbol remains to be alpha and I'm ready for the second episode of the competition.
Very correct. The second episode of our Luminous Chemistry Stars competition. Form 2 work. What is a radical?
A radical is a group of atoms with a net charge that exists and react as a unit during a chemical reaction.
That is very correct. Element with 15 protons in its nucleus.
Phosphorus.
That is phosphorus. Correct. State the number of neutrons in aluminium. You're given that the mass number is 27.
14.
14. Very correct. You do subtraction. 27 subtract 13. You get 14. So you're supposed to write a chemical equation when hydrogen bonds in oxygen. On the same piece of paper, you can write that equation. Okay, kindly display your equation. Good. I will not give you the mark for not balancing. The equation is not balanced. On the left hand side, 2 hydrogen. On the right hand side, 4 of them. Otherwise, if you balance, the equation is correct. Hydrogen bonds in oxygen to give water. Then you're supposed to name the element with the smallest radius in group 3.
Boron.
Yes, be confident. It is boron, the first member of group 3. We go to the... Why is atomic radius of sodium larger than that of sulfur?
It is large because the atomic radii of elements across a period decreases.
Okay, for 1 mark. Otherwise, you should go specific. Talk about sodium and sulfur. Sodium having less nuclear charge, that is fewer protons, than sulfur that has 16 protons. For sodium it has 11. And that means sulfur, the energy levels will be attracted even closer. That's why the sulfur atom is smaller. Good. We go to the next question. State one use of lithium.
For making dry cells.
Yes, used to make that one. I'll give you 1 because basically we do say it is used in making the batteries. For example, the phone batteries, laptop batteries, but not necessarily the dry cells. That one is fine. State 1, water soluble carbonate.
Sodium carbonate.
Sodium carbonate is correct. It is a soluble carbonate. Describe how copper 2 oxide can be obtained from copper 2 carbonate.
Heating the product, the copper carbonate.
Yes. Okay, I heat the carbonate. That is copper 2 carbonate. Then when do I stop heating?
until you obtain a constant mass.
Until you obtain a constant mass. I think that one I've assisted you to answer. But well, I give you the 2 marks. Because basically if you hit copper 2 carbonate, you get the final product as that is copper 2 oxide. State the observation that will be made if zinc carbonate is heated strongly.
Yellow solid will be formed that when it cools is white in color, and there is a presence of a colorless gas, which when tested with lime water, it forms a white precipitate.
Okay, for describing further that carbon monoxide is produced, I give you the 2 marks. But you should start from the color of zinc carbonate. Zinc carbonate is white. You heat it, you obtain a yellow solid that turns white when it cools, and of course the gas is produced. That one is okay. What is a cation?
A cation is a positively charged ion.
That is fine. I have no issue with that. Explain why solid sodium chloride does not conduct electricity.
The ions are immobile due to the ionic bond between the atom.
Okay, the strong ionic bond that holds the ions together, hence they are immobile, they are compact, so they cannot flow to conduct electricity. So I give you half the point, but you have explained that. Okay, why does silicon oxide melt at high temperature compared to carbon oxide?
Silicon oxide has a giant atomic structure that is held by a strong covalent bond, while carbon oxide has a giant molecular structure that is held together by weak van der Waals forces.
Okay, yeah, I give you half the point because silicon oxide, giant atomic structure, strong covalent bond, that means high temperature for breaking the bonds. But the other one, it's simple molecular with weak van der Waals forces that require less heat to break. That is for 1 mark, and it's correct. Name the allotropes of carbon that is used to make pencil. Graphite, that is correct. Okay, the very last question. In which way is solvate process economical?
Solvate process is economical because the many of the byproducts are recycled.
Okay, can you name me one of the byproducts?
Ammonia gas.
Ammonia, carbon monoxide, and even water. We can also say it's economical because it is self-sufficient in terms of energy. Remember, the formation of ammoniacal brine forms or produces a lot of heat that can be reused in the kiln that is in solvate process. Otherwise, that is the very last question of the competition or your section. Thank you for taking part in this competition.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much, guys. After that very stiff competition, I'm here to give the results. Remember what we're doing. We are going to give the results for the second episode. We are also going to add to the results for the first episode. So we're going to have the cumulative results. And like I did in the previous one, we're going to start with the delta. For the episode 2, delta scored 21 out of the possible 30. In the previous, delta had 27, so cumulatively, delta has 47 points. We go to psi. Psi in the previous had 26. Psi scored 25 in the second episode. The first one was 26. So cumulatively, psi has 51 points. Then we go to sigma. Sigma in the previous episode scored 26. In the second episode that we have just done, sigma has 22. So in total, cumulatively, that is, sigma has 48. We move on to lambda. Lambda scored 26 in the previous one. In this one, lambda has 25. So in total, lambda has 51. Going on to beta. Beta scored 28 in the previous episode, and in this one, beta has 25. Cumulatively, beta has 53. Omega, the competitor with the symbol omega, scored 21 in the previous, and this one has 25. So has a total of 46 points. Then finally, alpha. Alpha scored 26 in the previous episode. Then the second episode has 24, a total of 50. Remember, that is the second episode of the Luminous Chemistry Stars competition. We have episode 3, we have episode 4 to do for us to determine who will be the Luminous Chemistry Star, that is the brightest star, that is. Otherwise, to my students, let's keep it up. Let us keep conquering. We need doctors, we need engineers, we need nurses, we need beauticians, we need people who will conserve our environment, we need pharmacists, we need people, and we cannot be that without chemistry. And the competition continues. Who will emerge the luminous chemistry star?
My symbol is Omega.
And my symbol is Lambda.
And mine is Sigma. I am Delta.
My symbol is Alpha.
I am Psi.
And my symbol is Beta.
This was the second episode. See you in the third episode.
And the seat is getting hotter and hotter.
Bye.
And to support this needy student, go to your M-Pesa and follow the instructions that I have given you. Thank you for partnering with Dr. Sirme Initiative for the Needy Students. God bless you. Otherwise, thank you so much. Do not forget to vote for these candidates. Do not forget to subscribe. Do not forget to comment and even to like. This is Dr. Sirme.